But I think it's time to jump into some news. Okay, so couple things here recently announced. Well, Marvel Snap right now this weekend is at New York Comic Con, kind of celebrating and promoting their upcoming launch, which they announced. And so that is actually releasing worldwide on Tuesday, October 18th. You can pre-register now to kickstart your collection, unlock a special Max Grek Hulk variant for Android, or a Dan Hip Iron Man variant for iOS. And again, we have those links for the Google Play or the iOS PC links if you want to click those and sign up. But that is coming soon. So, Siimba, you said you've gone to play it. Itachi, did you get in the beta? Have you gotten to try it?
I was not good enough as an influencer to get into the beta. No.
Either.
I watched as everyone else played with the new toy, and I'll wait until it's on clearance, and then I'll get it like everyone else. Yep. Okay. Well, October 18th. Here we come.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure we'll all be talking about it. And it's a Tuesday, so that will be, we are recording these episodes on Fridays, so I'm sure we'll all get to try it.
I will be rank 1 by Friday.
All right. Well, I look forward to that episode, and then we can see how you're doing. Oh, that's going to be exciting, though. That's going to be a fun week.
Look at my card collection, not my bank account.
Yes.
Yeah.
One will be full, one will not.
Which one is the important one?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yep. That was the answer I was looking for. Well, you know what? Okay. How about talking about bank accounts? The next item of news that we have is that Wizards of the Coast has announced the 30th anniversary edition collectible set. Okay. And it's going to be starting for purchase, available for the holiday season, starting November 28th for $999. So it says each display of the 30th anniversary edition will contain 4 packs of pure nostalgia reimagined in a modern context. Each pack contains 15 cards, 13 cards in the modern frame, 1 rare, 3 uncommons, 7 commons, and 2 basic lands, plus 1 basic land in the retro frame, and 1 additional retro frame card, and plus a token. We have the link to the full article if you want to read through that whole article, look at exactly like what those frames look like if you're not familiar with them and all of that. But I personally have seen a lot of talk about this on like Twitter and social medias, and it doesn't seem like a lot of it has been positive talk. And I feel like that's probably around the price point. But I wanted to hear what you guys thought about this. Have you looked into this? Is this something that you've considered? You know, are you gonna get it, or what are your thoughts on this? Siimba,
I have very specifically considered not buying this. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, I saw it and I was like, oh, cool. And then I was like, oh, so you're gonna make me spend more money for old things. And so the reason it gets me is because you don't know what you're getting, right? You know, like sometimes you go to the store and you get a pre-made deck and it's like, and it comes with this card in holofoil. And so if you really want it, you can get that. The pre-made deck is like, okay, but you get the card that you want. Like, you know, you get the card that you want. When it comes to Magic, like, just because it's old doesn't mean that it's good. And so if I wanted something for nostalgia, personally, I would want something that was already printed. Because not only, like, that's the stuff that's going to be worth more and going to be taken care of and already sleeved. And so this stuff is like, it won't be old for another 30 years. And by that time, you know, the original cards are going to be worth even more and even more rare. And you're not going to want to play with these things. Like, if you're buying these cards, these are not cards that you're going to want to just like rip the package open, put in some random sleeves you got down at Goblin Games, and then like
Well, you can't. They're not even tournament legal.
Yes, yeah, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, you can't play them in tournaments.
I didn't even know that about it.
Yeah, they're meant to be collectible, I guess.
Yeah, but it also shows, like, you know, based on what I was saying earlier, like why I stopped playing Magic. Like I've had stints of playing Magic. It's just so expensive, and so like being in the space, I'm not surprised that this is the price point that they threw it out there at. I like it's not. I look at it and I want to vomit, but I'm not like shocked.
So there's a comparison here to everybody knows, if you've ever touched Yu-Gi-Oh or heard of Yu-Gi-Oh, you know what Blue Eyes White Dragon is.
Yes.
Konami did a thing a couple years back, a year and a half ago or so, and I missed out, and I'm so sad that I did. I tried, but I was unable to procure. But they released a platinum Blue Eyes White Dragon. It was the card was literally made out of platinum, and it came in a case.
Wow.
There were only 1,000 copies printed, and they made that known ahead of time. It was the price tag was exactly the same. It was $1,000 price tag, and they were numbered for authenticity's sake and for collector's sake. But like I said, there was 1,000 pre-announced. They told you how many they had. This, I don't know how many they're printing. I don't know when this printing stops. How do I know how collectors, it's not a collector's item if it's mass available? Black Lotus, Mox, Ruby Sap, like those are all collectors because they were once a very common card, but now not so, like not very common, quote unquote. They were once obtainable by easier means than going to the store or ordering online, despite the price tag, right? So I've played Yu-Gi-Oh decks with cards, single cards that cost more than $1,000. So to buy this, $1,000 display of non-tournament legal cards, which means people who like playing high rarity cards in their deck, this has no value to them. People who binge spend for things like this has no value to them. So as a collector, I love collecting. I have a ton of collector stuff right there. But like I said, authenticity's sake, numerical sake, like you don't know what is it just a cash grab for Wizards of the Coast? Konami doesn't make a lot of good decisions, but the Blue Eyes was a great decision, I thought. And those things are currently worth minimum $3,000 now. You're not getting out of the door for less than $3,000, maybe $2,500 if you know a guy. But like, I just don't see the same. I don't see the same value being presented in terms of being a collector here.
Yeah, and to your point, you knew the card. But like you said, Blue Eyes White Dragon. Like you knew what card. That's why I was talking about like the faces at the store. Like I'll buy this deck after I get this card. I don't know what I'm getting in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's still just packs, right? So even if there is a limited number of cards, like a specific pool of cards that are in this set, you're still opening packs. So it's like a chance to still get those instead of the price point for knowing exactly what you will be getting. That they're not tournament legal. And like you said, that was a big thing for me as well. When I was reading through the article, it's like, well, how many are there going to be? Like, we don't know. It didn't say. They did say that there's going to be more information like coming soon on how the purchasing and all that's going to work. And then they specified that if you're in like North America, that, start ordering right November 28th, and North America will probably actually get those physically already by the end of the year. And then early 2023 for like people not in North America. So it sounds like they're going to ship these out pretty fast, but that also to me says that there probably are a limited number of copies if they're able to like get those, or they've already printed them and have them waiting to ship out.
Or are they going to like see the order volume and then continue to print? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, what's
like maybe they didn't announce like to see the the response, and see kind of what people thought of it first before they decided. I don't know. It did seem very odd because I thought the same thing as you. Like, if it's a collector's thing, generally there is a limited number of prints or number of copies or whatever it is. and they didn't specify anything about that. So we
Yeah.
have no idea yet, like how collectors, how limited this is.
No, print your stuff, stand firm in your convictions, be transparent, tell us what you're printing, and then we can decide as a community, not we, them, I'm not collecting that. They can decide if it is a collector's item or not. The printer does not get to decide if it's collectible. The collectors do.
Agreed.
All right. Well, moving on to the next couple of topics here. We have talking more about physical Magic. We have the Magic's Warhammer 40K and the MTG Unfinity. Both hit shelves today, Friday, October 7th, as we are recording this. So those are available if you are interested in those. And I don't know if either of you have looked into this stuff. I'm also not like big into Warhammer. So, you know, some of this was like, oh, okay. They've been doing kind of crossover type stuff. Maybe if there's one that I'm really interested in, I might jump at it. But I know some people definitely were pretty excited about this. But that's in shelves now. Are either of you looking at either of these or considering getting them?
I thought this is the thing, and this might not be. I'm looking through the card gallery now. There's some very cool looking cards, but I thought this was the thing with the Transformers in it, but I don't think it is. There was some images that got released about some Magic cards that were doing a crossover with like Transformers, and I thought those looked super cool. But this is not that.
I didn't know that this was coming out. I'll be honest. I currently do not have any interest or intent to purchase any of them. The Unfinity stuff, it looks kind of cool. Or maybe I should say it looks kind of cute.
Yeah. It looks fun. It looks anti-magic. Like it's not like traditional magic where it's very dark toned and kind of mystical, murderous. But these look very fun. These look kind of like Yu-Gi-Oh cards would look like in terms of the vibe that the art's given off. It's very like, here's a carnival, here's some... Actually, it's more Hearthstone than Yu-Gi-Oh! It's kind of Hearthstone-y. If you look at it, it's very circus fair, carnival. Here's some bumper cars, here's some clowns, concession stands. There's probably a reference to funnel cakes, and we know where that came from. So
looking at a couple of the cards, it sort of reminds me, if any of you are familiar with the Unhinged sets. Yeah, so and Magic Unhinged, I wasn't playing Magic when that came out, but I've run into a few of the cards, and while I don't have many, Unhinged probably has to be one of the most fun things I've ever seen put out in any card game. Like broken border cards, two-piece cards that literally involve you trying to sneak playing the card like in real time. Like it was ridiculous. And so you obviously don't play them in standard, but that might be what makes it so much fun. Except for these almost just look like only alternate art. They don't look that insane, but it does say there's some new mechanics. So
all right, and the last bullet point here, I think Itachi also wanted to mention something, but we also have the MTG Arenas Alchemy Dominaria mini expansion, which is 30 cards plus some other changes and other things in the game, all launched for MTGA yesterday, Thursday, October 6th. And they also have a code right now. Play DMUA with the P and then DMUA are all capitalized. You can enter that code in the game to get 3 free packs. So that's kind of exciting. Free packs are always nice.
Yeah. I might just log in just to get free packs just because they've offered. I don't play Arena at all anymore. I tried it. It's very clunky, and like Magic's a clunky game already by design. It's very slow. And then the game is also very slow. Like it felt like I would take forever to play a match. And so I gave it up.
Yeah, Magic the Gathering Online was like cool to have when like COVID was very rampant, because like the people that loved playing Magic all the time still got to play. But if you don't have a full set of cards, at least it wasn't fun for me because I didn't have a full set of cards. So like I'll probably log in and get the free packs too. But Alchemy in general, respectfully, I hate it. I don't like the Alchemy format at all. because it wasn't like a whole, it's like it took cards that already existed and just altered them, and we're like, have fun with these, and I was like, that's not fun. I'm already like getting mollywopped by the regular cards on an everyday basis, and now I don't even have all of the alchemy cards, so like I'm just gonna not. That's what I decided. I was like, I will just not do this. And it wasn't really fun to watch either, like on Twitch or like YouTube videos from the people I watch, because of course they're gonna try it out, and I was like, this is not, I didn't like it. So it's interesting that they've put out a mini expansion. I am not familiar with Magic the Gathering putting out mini expansions and just whole expansions, but
wonder where that came from.
Yes. Yeah. Now I want to make sure, Siimba, you are going to log into MTG Arena and not Magic Online, right? Because those are two different things.
Yes. Arena.
Okay.
I don't actually have
heard,
online.
Magic Online was really, really bad. I've seen some people still playing it, but that was bad, apparently. Very bad. So I know MTGA has its issues too, but
a little bit. It's just coming from Hearthstone is so difficult into any other digital card game because Hearthstone is so visually appealing, almost to a fault, because they can't even make like the mode that they made Mercenaries is so less visually appealing that I don't even want to play it. So like now there's this standard for me of like, I want a game to look like put me into the game while I'm playing. Magic doesn't do that. Runeterra does a better job than most, but like Eternal didn't, like a lot of those games that came out. What was it? Artifact, haha, didn't do that. Yeah. So in Yu-Gi-Oh! Comic-Con, there was the announcement of 2 new sets that are to be released in 2023. One is a mini set. If you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, there's something called it's called like it's not called a mini set, but I call it a hidden arsenal set, where it's like a set that comes between a set that has some like usually some pretty fun, cute archetypes. That's where the lore of Yu-Gi-Oh! Primarily comes from, those mini sets in between. They introduce a lot of dogmatic. And it's funny because some of the name of the archetypes are Dogmatica. There's a lot of dogmatic lore in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's very interesting. And also at Comic-Con, they had this Rescue Rabbit plushie. It's a little bunny rabbit. I got my first, well, not my first, but one of my first regional tops with this card. So you had to, in order to win this plushie, though, you had to duel the master. And duel the master is such an interesting format in Yu-Gi-Oh! To liken it to Hearthstone, it's kind of like playing a wild deck versus your opponent playing a standard deck. So like the master gets the wild deck and has all the favor, and then you have to play a standard deck to try to win. It's kind of like some of the trials that have been in solo mode in Hearthstone, where you have to build a specific deck in order to beat the deck that you know you're going to face. In Magic the Gathering, it would be like playing Legacy against Standard, and there's just no way. It just is not happening most of the time. So yeah, very hard to win the plushie. Very cute. A lot of people were selling it for like $250+ minimum. So big that's a collect. People have decided that is a collector's item. It was not announced as such. They just made it very hard to win. So yeah, now it's a collector's item. It's very cute. It's a very sought after card. Prize. That's it. That first picture
in the top
left. Yep, that's the little plushie. Rescue
rabbit. Yo, I need it.
So he's got his little walkie-talkie on his neck. It's cute. It's cute. I love that card. So yeah, that was really cool. That was something that Konami did at Comic-Con this past weekend, or this current weekend. Sorry.